10 days. That is how long it took Anthropic's own engineering team to build Claude Cowork. And they used Claude Code to do it. It is already growing faster than Claude Code did at launch. Almost no one outside the AI bubble can explain what it actually is. It is not a chatbot, not Microsoft Copilot, not Claude Code. It is sitting inside a desktop app you may already pay $20 a month for. Anthropic calls it Claude Code for the rest of your work. Have you ever opened the Claude desktop app and quietly closed the Cowork tab because nothing made sense? You are not alone. Every other explainer calls it AI for non-coders and stops there. That is a label, not an explanation. Here is the actual mental model. 3 tabs, 1 sentence each. Chat is for questions. Code is for software. Cowork is for projects. That is the whole video in one breath. By the end, I will show you the exact task I gave Cowork last week. It turned a 6-month avoidance into a finished file in 4 minutes. I am Pragati, 20 years inside enterprise software at Nike and IBM. I have been using Claude Cowork since the Pro tier opened in January. I was confused for 2 days. Then something clicked that made me close every other AI tab on my browser. 3 tabs, the middle one, that is the one Anthropic built for everyone who is not a developer. Let me show you. Open the Claude desktop app on your computer. Look at the very top center. You will see 3 little pill buttons sitting next to each other. Chat, Cowork, Code. 3 tabs, same Claude underneath, 3 completely different tools. Let me unpack them. The first tab, Chat. You already know this one. You type a question, you get an answer. What is the capital of France? How do I phrase this awkward email to a client? What is a good headline for my landing page? It is a conversation. You ask, Claude answers. You copy the answer, you move on. It is the same thing you have been doing on the regular Claude website for months. Useful, familiar, limited. The third tab, Code. This one is for developers, the people who write software for a living. It opens what looks like a black terminal screen with text scrolling. It is built for one job, helping coders ship code faster. Here is the thing most non-coders do wrong. They click code first because they think the one with the most intimidating name must be the powerful one. It is not the powerful one for you. It is the wrong tab. If you do not write software, you can ignore this tab. I am not joking. You can ignore it for the rest of your life, which leaves the middle one. Cowork. This is the one Anthropic built specifically for everyone who is not a developer. This is the one their own product page calls Claude Code for the rest of your work. And this is the one that does something the other 2 cannot do. You do not ask it a question, you give it a project. You point it at a folder on your computer. You tell it the outcome you want. In plain English, the way you would text a friend, and then you walk away. Cowork reads the files. Cowork makes a plan. Cowork does the work. And when you come back, there is a real file sitting on your desktop with the answer. Not text in a chat window, a real file, an Excel spreadsheet with live formulas, a Word document, a PowerPoint deck, a folder full of organized photos, a finished thing you can send to a client, or upload to your accountant, or hand to your team. If you can write a text message, you can use the middle tab. Now, there is one mistake almost every new user makes in week 1. It is the reason most people give up on Cowork before it ever does anything for them. The fix is the opposite of what you would think. I will show you in a minute. But first, I owe you the demo I promised, because nothing I just said will land until you see it work on something real. So let me tell you about the Receipts folder. I have a folder on my desktop called Receipts 2026. It is a digital pile. 38 PDFs that arrived in my email over the last few months. Restaurant bills, software subscriptions, travel for 2 client trips, office supplies. Every single one is a thing I need for taxes. Every single one I had been avoiding since November. The idea made me want to lie down. Open 38 files, copy numbers into a spreadsheet, categorize them, add them up. 6 months of today is the day followed by anything else. Last Tuesday, I opened the Claude desktop app. I clicked the middle tab, the cream-colored screen loaded, a small orange sparkle at the top, 1 line of text underneath, let us knock something off your list. I clicked the input box, I typed 1 sentence. Open my receipts folder, build me an expense report for March, save it as an Excel file with categories and a total. I hit run, and then I went to make coffee. When I came back 4 minutes later, there was a brand new Excel file sitting on my desktop. I opened it, 38 transactions, categorized restaurants, software, travel, supplies, a column for the date, a column for the merchant, a column for the amount, a row at the bottom with the total, and actual working formulas, not numbers typed in, real spreadsheet formulas that update if I change anything. I just stood there for a second, 6 months of avoidance, for minutes of work. One file I would have spent half a Saturday building. That was the moment Cowork stopped being a buzzword for me. That is the whole difference between chat and Cowork in one sentence. Chat would have told me how to build the spreadsheet. Cowork built the spreadsheet. Now here is the part most explainers skip. Why does this work for non-coders when nothing else has? The trick is something Anthropic figured out and most people miss. You are not telling Cowork the steps, you are telling it the outcome. It figures out the steps. The old way of talking to a computer is step first. Open file 1, read column B, copy the value, open Excel, paste it into row 1. That is how we have all been trained for 40 years. Outcome first is the new way. Build me an expense report from this folder. You describe the destination. Cowork figures out the route. That single shift is why this works for you. Because you have been thinking in outcomes your entire professional life, coders think in steps. You think in finished work. Cowork is built for the way you already think. Now, about that mistake. The number one thing that kills new Cowork users in week 1 is pointing it at the wrong folder. They point it at their entire desktop or their entire documents folder on day 1. Why is this a mistake? Because Cowork is going to read every file it can see. Every single one. 6 years of mixed personal and work files. Tax returns from 2021. Photos from your sister's wedding. 80 drafts of a resume. The PDF of your apartment lease. Cowork will try to make sense of all of it. It will get confused. It will burn through your usage allowance. The first task will take forever. The result will be underwhelming. You will close the app. You will not come back. So here is the trick. Make a brand new folder. Call it Cowork Playground. Put exactly the files for one task inside it. Tell Cowork to work in that folder. Small folder, clear task, finished file. That is the on-ramp. This part trips people up because it feels backwards. You bought a powerful AI tool and the advice is to give it less to look at. But that is exactly the move that gets you a win in week 1 instead of a refund request. I owe you one more piece of honest information because I do not want you to be surprised by your bill. Anthropic's own help center says this, word for word, working on tasks with Cowork consumes more of your usage allocation than chatting with Claude. That is them being honest with you in writing. Cowork is doing real work in the background, reading files, opening apps, running steps. That uses more of your monthly allowance than asking a quick question. The entry plan is $20 a month, the same pro plan you may already be paying for. That is enough to try Cowork. Run a few real tasks a week, decide if it is for you. If you fall in love with it and run it daily on long projects, you will want the max plan. That is $100 a month. Same price as a couple of streaming services. Less than 1 hour of a virtual assistant. Picture this. A consultant on Medium, she wakes up at 6:30, pours coffee, opens her laptop, and loses the next 45 minutes to the same routine. Triage the inbox. Skim the calendar, catch up on the 3 Slack channels she missed overnight, read the 2 newsletters she had bookmarked. By the time she actually starts her day, an hour is gone. She gave that whole routine to Cowork, connected her email, her Notion, her calendar, asked it to do the triage and the prep before she got out of bed. 6 weeks later, her morning routine was 5 minutes. She wakes up, she pours coffee. She opens one document Cowork has already prepared. The inbox is triaged, the day is planned, the reading is summarized. She just reads the brief. 45 minutes a day is 5 hours a week. 260 hours a year, 6 full work weeks of her life for $20 a month. That is what I want you to do tonight. You are not going to watch another AI video. You are not going to add another tab to your browser. You are going to do this. Go to claude.com/download. Install the desktop app on your computer if you have not already. Open it. Click the middle tab, the one called Cowork, the cream screen with the orange sparkle. And you are going to type the boring thing you have been avoiding for 2 months. The receipts, the folder of unsorted client notes, the pile of screenshots from your phone, the Excel that needs cleaning, the 5 PDFs you have not read, the proposal you have been putting off, the contract you have not summarized. Whatever it is, type it in plain English, the way you would text a friend who offered to help. Hit run, walk away, make coffee. Come back and see what is on your desktop. Remember the number I opened with? 10 days? That is how long it took Anthropic to build Cowork. The team that builds the most powerful coding tool in the world watched how their non-coder friends were using it, and they decided to make a version for everyone else. They built it in 10 days. 3 tabs in one app. The middle one is for you. You are not someone who watches AI videos and feels left behind. Not anymore. You are someone who delegates. If you want a head start, I made a free Claude Cowork Quick Start Kit, the 3-tab cheat sheet you just learned, the 5 best first tasks for non-coders, the playground folder pattern so you do not make the mistake we just talked about, and a walkthrough of the install plus your first task so you do not get stuck. It is sitting in the Agent Skills Academy community on School. The link is in the description. Join the community, send me the message Cowork, and I will send you the kit. The desktop app is right there. The orange sparkle is right there. So is your first task. Go knock it off your list.